bullet journals, art projects, organized planner chic.
Well, hello planner babes, and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, first I want to thank all my Patreon members who help make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you guys so much, and if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Well, hello you guys. I'm so excited to show you my 2021 bullet journal setup. I really put a lot of work into it, and I hope it will be really beneficial to you, whether you're a newbie or a long-time bullet journaler. Just the way I kind of have figured out these years that I've been bullet journaling, what really works for me, and making those adjustments, and then just kind of thinking ahead, thinking about my future. So I am housing this into a traveler's notebook that I DIY'd a long time ago. I have it in several different videos. It was all decorated for Christmas, so you can check out that video. I have taken those decorations off because we're getting ready for the new year for this bullet journal setup, and I left my red pom-pom and my pin loop that I stitched on here anyway, because I'm going to be decorating it for Valentine's Day here in a little bit. I think it's a perfect design for the holidays and for the winter holiday of Valentine's Day, with the red in there and the snowflakes and the sort of winter animal. I guess they're not really winter animals. I guess the bears are probably asleep right now, but it does make me think all about winter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go inside. First, I will show you that a couple of pens that I use a lot in my bullet journal are the Tomoe Mono, which I use it to draw. I usually sketch in pen. I just like to do that. And then I will use Tomoe dual brush pens or other water-based markers to decorate. But since now, this year, I am going to be using a Hobonichi Plain Notebook, I will still be drawing with the Tomoe Mono, which I do a lot when I watercolor. It just works really well with watercolor. And I'll also still use all different types of water-based things and all different types of ink. I just won't be using alcohol markers because they just bleed through, but everything else works wonderfully in this paper. And then the other one is the Pigma Micron. I also sketch with this, but I write everything with this now as well in different sizes. I usually sketch in the Tomoe Mono 01, but I draw, or when I write, I use all different sizes of the Pigma Micron, the 01, 03, 05. So whatever it is, depending on how small or big I need to write in it. And the reason why I've decided to do that instead of using other just more inexpensive and non-permanent ink is I thought that in the future I would like for my kids and grandkids, when I pass away, to be able to reference my bullet journals years and years from now. I mean, maybe great grandkids, and be able to see the ink and not have trouble with it fading. So that was just me thinking ahead. Okay, now let's go ahead and go inside. So this is, again, the Hobonichi Plain Notebook. I got the 2 books so that I could have, they're basically 2 half-year books. They're about 280 pages, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but they're less than 300 pages. And I got 2 of them at the same time, and they were actually cheaper than getting 2 Stalogies, which I watercolor a lot in Stalogy, and they're almost the same paper. I don't know what the Stalogy paper is, but it acts just like the Hobonichi Tomoe River paper to me, but I don't know what it's called, but it's not Tomoe River paper. But it cost more to get 2 half-year Stalogies than it is to get 2 half-year Hobonichis. So hey, I got the Hobonichis. So I decorated inside the inside cover. I thought about putting some decorative paper in here like I've done in past years, but this time I thought, no, I'll just decorate in here. I always put some type of label in every bullet journal that I do. And so I did that here. I just traced around It was a little index card that I had from some promotion that I got in the mail, and I just traced around that to make the shape of this. This was a beautiful sticker I got from a local coffee and tea shop. I thought she was beautiful, and I put her right there, and she has locks and I have dreadlocks, and so I thought that would work, representing me, sort of, kind of. And then I just used now I forget the names of things all the time if you guys are new to my channel, so I put a few reference pieces here so I wouldn't forget. So I used a Tombow dual brush pen, not of course in this green color, but I used a Tombow dual brush pen to do brush lettering that says this bullet journal belongs to. And then I just used the Pigma Micron and a ruler to draw lines to put the information on there, my name, my email, my Instagram, my YouTube, and my Patreon. And then here on the left, I just used a Crayola Super Tip. That was my reference because I was going to forget. A Crayola Super Tip to write in 2021, let's rock this. Then I outlined the let's rock this with the Pigma Micron. Then I took a Stabilo and I doodled this little plant leaf here, or plant rather here, and then I colored it in with the Tombow dual brush pen. All right. Now here I decided for this year I wanted to have something decorative as much as possible on every page, unless it was going to take away from room that I needed to be able to write something. So this is a piece of art that I did years ago, and I did it I believe it was art crayons, the professional level of art crayons, that I made a mandala or a mandala. I'm not sure the right way to say that. Did I say that right? Either way, I think one of those ways was right. And I did that, and then I printed it on some sticker paper, and I cut the edges because the actual piece of art covered a much bigger area, but I only wanted this section. So I used my teeny tiny scissors from Dollar Tree to cut around where I wanted it to. These are amazing, y'all. If you didn't know, these are amazing. And so I put that there, and then here I wrote a little note that says on the next page is a letter to the new year. So I wrote a letter to 2021. I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys in case you're interested. If not, feel free to forward the video. But I said, 2021, please don't be like last year. The world needs hope and relief. We miss our families, friends, public outings, and touchy-feely socialization. Many loved ones have died, and some are having long-lasting issues from having been exposed to COVID-19. The new normal is lonely, isolated, stressful, and depressing for many. So, do better. Yes, good things happened in 2020. There was still joy, creativity, connection, and hope. But there was so much negative that overshadowed everything. I am looking forward to what God is going to do in the new year. He works everything together for our good. So even if you have junk to dish out 2021, God is still in control. He brings light to the end of every tunnel. All right, Lucinda, I signed it. There are other things that happened in 2021. A lot of social injustices were brought to the table as well. And so I might write another letter, probably reflecting on 2020 or just in the beginning of 2021 to address those things as well. But I thought that would be nice to sort of reflect on the last year and kick off the new year on a good start. So here is my table of contents. Oh, and I just doodled in here with my, I think I used my Pigma Micron for all of that actually, and then colored it all in with Tombow dual brush pen. And then I doodled a little sunflower here at the bottom, and I did all of that with, I did the sketching with the Tombow Mono, and then I colored it in with the Tombow dual brush pen. Table of contents, that's all in Tombow dual brush pen and outlined with Pigma Micron. And I only set aside 2 pages. I love, love, love. I have to say that this is my first year bullet journaling again in a Hobonichi Plain Notebook, and so I never actually bullet journaled in my Stalogy. I only did art. It's basically my art journal. And so this is my first time bullet journaling in this type of paper with a really small graft, and then the Tomoe River paper. And I have to say that I really, really love working in these squares on this paper. I love that this, if you're not familiar, the Hobonichi Plain Notebook has a few different colors. So it's like, it's divided into 3 sections. It's like a really light pink, really, really light. You probably can't see it on camera. And then there's like a little light green. And then the last section, I think, is like a little light blue. I can't even hardly tell right now with the lighting. But there are 3 different shades. And I don't know what it is about it, but I like the size of these squares, and I like that I can write in these little squares and use a Pigma Micron and 0.5, and it doesn't look too small for me to read it. So yeah, I thought I'd share that. And then, so I decided to use 2 pages for my table of contents because I don't normally use very much. I usually only wind up using 2 pages, even though I'll set aside like 4, or I'd buy a bullet journal that had maybe 4 or 5. I think I even had one that had 6 pages for the table of contents, but I wasn't using all of that. So I was like, I'm just going to use 2 pages, and I should have plenty of room even if I go more than I normally would because of the spacing on here. So I've got all of my, basically my collections marked on there. And then this is my future log. So if this future log looks really, really busy to you and looks, oh my goodness, it's because I've already put in a lot of things. The things that I know are definitely recurring always that I have to, oh, how can I explain that? So like my husband and I lead the Celebrate Recovery Ministry at our church. It's every Friday night, but we have a different topic. Every other week is a lesson, and the weeks in between are a testimony. So I have to write in there which are we doing that weekend. If it's a lesson, what is the lesson and who's teaching it? Then I get allergy shots every week, but it's not exactly always the same day every week. So I try to do it on Friday mornings, but sometimes it's not. I try to do it at 7:30 in the morning so I can park. Sometimes it's not, but I know I have to make sure that I schedule that every week. So I have those written in. I have all of the holidays written in. I have all of the birthdays written in. And then I have every Friday payday and tithes in there, because even though I have an alarm that reminds me to pay myself, and I'm good about the tithes, but for some reason, even though I have an alarm to remind me to pay myself, I can get busy. I might snooze that, and I have 3 alarms that come on, but I might be driving, or I might be in the middle of a project or on the phone with someone, and I could forget to pay myself. And so I don't forget about the tithes because of church and everything, but so if I have it written down on my calendar and it's something that I have to schedule, and then once it's scheduled, I have to check it off, then I know that I will do it. Even if it's late, even if it's 3 or 4 days later, it still gets done. So yeah, I've got my whole, so I've got 4 days, 4 months on one page. Yeah. And I've got all the way to the end of the year. So I thought about only doing maybe 6 or 7 months because this is a half year, but a lot of times I do need to schedule things far in advance. And so I thought, no, I should do the whole year, and then I'll just copy, and you'll see whenever I transfer to a new bullet journal. I actually have a video that talks about doing that. So I'll put it in the iCard for you guys. And hopefully I'll remember, I'll put it in the description below as well. So then after the future log, I have routines, schedules, and focus days. And that is really important for me. If you're not familiar, I have a history of suffering from PTSD, and I do a lot of things to but there are certain things that help me stay focused, help me stay healthy. I mean, I went through 12 weeks of PTSD therapy through the VA, which was awesome and life-changing. So if you have an opportunity to do that, absolutely do it. It will change your life. And I lead people through small groups for PTSD with Celebrate Recovery. And so I've just learned things that help me not to become anxious or to avoid being anxious, things to help me not to dive into perfectionism. And so you may look, for example, and so you may look at this and say, oh, this looks pretty perfectionistic to me. Well, it's really not. It's not things of only a few things are set for a specific time of day. And I don't do like I used to do where I broke up my day hour by hour. I don't do that. But these are just routines. These are things that if I set, this becomes a habit of doing certain things first thing in the morning, doing certain things around lunch and 3 p.m. and around dinner time. They don't have to be exactly that time, but they're on my radar and I reference them. And I have paid attention to what routines really worked and what things I feel like really needed to be a routine for this coming year. And so, for instance, for me, my day is way better if when I wake up, I drink a glass of water, make my bed, and do my Bible study and prayer time and scripture reflection, scripture memorization, yoga, all those things before I do any work, before I do anything that anyone else might feel that I'm responsible for, just taking care of my house or paying a bill or anything like that, or taking a phone call. It just really sets the tone for my day, and I feel energized and I feel focused and I feel like I've taken care of me. And so that's why I have these different routines on there. And then other things are just so that cleaning doesn't become a chore because you wait until it gets to where you really got to clean it up. But if you do a little bit throughout the day, especially around key times. Now, there are times when I have an appointment or something that I can't do that, and then that I accept, and I've gotten really good. Well, good. I'm not going to say really good about accepting that half of that day is gone because of an appointment. Don't go and try to catch up. So that's a point for you. You can't catch up a part of the day that's already gone. That day is gone. You just start with what you can from where you are at this moment. So those things help me. They also help me get business stuff done as well. I'm going to do a totally separate video on my vision, mission, and goals and those sections of my bullet journal. I'm going to show them to you, but I'm not going to break them down today. So then after that, I have my personal vision, mission, and slogan and goals, and my business organized planner chic for all of those things, vision, mission, and goals. And I've started those and not finished them because I will go over those in the next video. But on personal, I have divided by spiritual, physical, family, and financial. And my business is social media, Patreon, and sponsorships. Yeah. So it's really important to me to write out your goals and track them. And so be looking forward to that video. It'll be coming out very soon. This is probably my favorite spread in my 2021 bullet journal and my collections. I just think it looks so pretty. But it is where I'm going to write out my tentative YouTube schedule for the year and my tentative Patreon schedule. So here for my YouTube, I have it all broken up by January through December for the months, and then a place to write an idea, 3 different ideas for each month. So idea number 1, number 2, and number 3 for January. Same thing, February and March, all that. And then I will just probably circle the one that I decided to do. This will probably have some markouts and all kinds. It's my creative space. It's my brainstorming space. And then here on the Patreon one, what I did is because I have 3 tiers. And the first tier, I should have written the tier name up there, but the first tier, all of the tiers get printable, a free printable every month. 2 of the tiers get a behind the scenes video plus the free printable. All of them everyone gets a shout out that you saw at the beginning of the video in my intro. So everyone gets a free printable, everyone gets a shout out. The behind the scenes tier the second tier, so it's Dapper, and then is the first one. Stylish is the second one, so they get everything that I already said, plus they get a behind the scenes video. And then the Fly tier gets everything that I've already said, plus they get a stationery packet mailed to them every month. And so this is the $1, the $5, and the $10 tier. And so then I will put, which I meant to do that, put 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in each of these boxes for the ideas, and then I'll circle which one that I'm going to use. And then I have my car maintenance, which I always keep track of in my bullet journal, and it might be hard to see right here because I made it too dark for the headers, so I used a white gel pen, the Uniball. Is it Uniball? I think so. I'll put it across the screen if I'm saying it wrong, but it's the 1.0 white gel pen. And so I have the date, the vendor of whoever's doing the maintenance on my car, the mileage at the time, the amount I paid, and what service or repair I got or any notes. And then I have it broken up by engine and tires. And I've been doing this for a while now, a few years, and it really helps me keep up with my car, especially since it's a 10-year-old car. It's a 2010 Camry. I love it. It's still my baby. I want it to last a little bit longer. So, and then on this side, I have my wish list for things that I want to purchase, and I just have that broken up by item, vendor, amount, order number if I'm ordering it online, and the date that I received it. And then I decided to leave about 3 pages, at least 2 for sure, to have, just in case I have some project, something else that comes up early in the year that I want to track. Because I know a lot of bullet journalers will set up their pages where they have not very many pages of collections, but they track a lot of stuff each month that they write out. Ooh, I apologize. Oh, my alarm is going off. They have a few pages that they have every month that they create each month to track what happened that month. And I prefer to just have my collections that way in the front, and it keeps me from having to recreate all of that every month. And although it's really pretty, but it was just harder for me to keep up with. And so I left a few pages in case I have another project, or like for instance, we haven't been able to travel because of COVID. Some of my family and I were supposed to go to Japan in 2020. We didn't get to go. We were supposed to go to Hawaii with my husband's family. We're hoping we'll get to go to Hawaii this 2021, and then I will track everything for that in here if it turns out to look like we're going to get to go. But I want to travel somewhere before 2021 is over, so that'll probably be a project in here. And then I will start my monthly pages, and I'll do separate videos for that. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and comment and share. It really helps my channel a lot. Also, I have 2 different Facebook groups. The one for anyone around the world is called Organized Planner Chic Crew, and there we do giveaways. And in fact, I have a giveaway going on right now, so be sure and check that out if you're interested. It expires on December 19th. I also have a giveaway on my channel right now that expires December 19th for a free notebook. So check those out. Organized Planner Chic Crew and on Facebook, and my 2021 planner lineup for my planners on YouTube. And then I have another Facebook group that's local, and it's called Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ. And there we try to stay in touch on Facebook. We normally would meet in person every month, but because of COVID, we haven't been able to do that yet, but hopefully soon. And then if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, everyone, happy planning.